Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Randy Ahmad, real estate agent and advisor here in the Tampa Bay market. Today's video is navigating the ins and outs of homeowners associations, or as we more commonly know them as HOAs, specifically here as it pertains to HOAs here in Florida. We're going to cover everything from the basic definitions and working of HOAs to their roles and responsibilities, HOA benefits, and even potential HOA drawbacks. We're going to start with, obviously, what is an HOA? In simple terms, a homeowners association is a private organization within a residential community, like a subdivision or a planned community or a condominium. The HOA sets and enforces rules for the properties and their residents. So for example, when you buy a property within an HOA community, you automatically become an HOA member and you're obligated to comply with its rules, which is usually known as covenants, conditions, and restrictions, which is something that we covered in the video with when I talked about CDDs. So you can click on that link above and it'll take you to learning more about CDDs. But let's transition into the roles and responsibilities of an HOA. Okay, so first and foremost, an HOA is responsible for enforcing the rules outlined in the covenants, conditions, and restrictions manual. These rules are going to vary from one HOA community to another, but they generally cover things like property modifications, pet policies, sort of like what can you paint what colors can you use to paint the exterior of your home, or even the types of landscaping you can do. So by enforcing these rules, the HOA helps maintain uniformity and an aesthetically pleasing community, right? They want to maintain that. So second, the HOA maintains all the common areas in the community. These things include things like parks, swimming pools, a clubhouse, a fitness center, sometimes roads and sidewalks. The maintenance could be anything from lawn mowing, trimming trees, to repairing the communal facilities, or even painting buildings and replacing rooftops. Third, their HOA is responsible for managing the community's finances. This involves collecting HOA fees from homeowners, managing the HOA budget, and then paying for common area maintenance, insurance, and then other communal expenses. They also set aside funds for future repairs and improvements known as reserves. Now finally, and hopefully you never see this, but the HOA acts as a mediator in disputes among residents or between residents and the HOA itself. Up to an extent, okay? They hold regular meetings where members can voice their concerns and opinions and suggestions, and a lot of times grievances. Now, in a nutshell, the HOA acts as a governing body of a community, taking care of administration, maintenance, and sometimes conflict resolution. So how are HOAs governed? We alluded to this earlier, right? They're not just nebulous entities. They have a defined structure with responsibilities divided among a board of directors. The board is typically composed of homeowners in the community who are elected by the residents themselves, right? So the HOA members, the residents. The HOA board includes positions like president, VP, so vice president, secretary, and treasurer, each with its own set of responsibilities. How is the HOA board assembled? Well, to be on the board of an HOA, you've got to be elected, like I said. Elections for the HOA board are held during the association's annual meeting. During this meeting, any member of the HOA can run for a position on the board. The election process typically involves nomination, acceptance of the nominees, and then voting by HOA members. Remember, this is your community, okay? And being part of the board gives you a say in the decisions that directly affect the quality of life for you and your neighbors. Okay, and definitely affects the property values. Oh, there's one notable difference when it comes to an HOA membership in a new community. When you're buying a home in a new community, the builder or the developer of the community controls the HOA. Now, once a certain number of units have been sold, there's a process called a transition, or a turnover starts to happen. And this is where control of the HOA moves from the developer over to the homeowner. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about HOA fees and penalties. HOA fees are determined based on the annual operating budget of the association. This budget is going to include things like routine maintenance, utilities for common areas, insurance premiums, management fees, and whatnot. Now, there's also included as a provision for reserve funds, which is, it's just a certain amount of money that's set aside for repairs and replacements in the future, like repaving roads or replacing the roofs of the community or even the clubhouse. Now, each homeowner's share of the budget is typically divided by the number of units or the size of each property. Like, for example, in a condominium, owners might pay equal shares, whereas in a neighborhood of a single family home, the fees might be based on the square footage or the lot size of each home. I get this question a lot. What happens if an HOA member doesn't pay the fee? Well, typically if there's a violation, the HOA is going to send a notice to the homeowner outlining what violation was caused and that what needs to be done to fix it, to remediate it. The notice is going to include a time frame within which the homeowner must correct the violation. This could be anything from repainting a house, that's, you painted the wrong color, and you had a car parked that's not supposed to be there in the driveway. So there are a lot of things that can cause a violation, but you're definitely going to get a notice and you're going to get a time frame in which to fix that. Now, what if the violation is not corrected within the given time frame? Well, this is something that you definitely want to avoid, okay? Because this is where fines come in. So to ensure compliance with its rules, the HOA can levy fines against the homeowner for the violations if they're not fixed. The amount of fines is going to vary depending on the specific HOA and the nature of the violation, right? So some HOAs may impose a small fine for the first violation and then increase the amount for repeated violations. Other HOAs may just have a flat fee. Now, in addition to fines, some HOAs may also suspend a homeowner's privileges to use common facilities, or in some cases, the HOA may correct the violation itself and bill the homeowner for the cost. For example, let's just say that a homeowner refuses to mow the lawn. The HOA might hire a landscaper to come do the work and then charge the homeowner. We don't see that a lot, honestly, but it may be done just depending on the rules and restrictions in there. Now, if you feel that a rule is unfair or a penalty is just unjust, now you have options for disputing the decision. Just know that. So you may want to just email or find a way to reach out to your HOA and just follow the proper channels. All right, so hopefully by now you have a much better understanding of what an HOA is, how they're governed, and how fees are set. And you're probably also wondering, well, Randy, what are some common examples of HOA rules? I'm not sure if I totally get what's happening here. So let's touch on that a little bit. When you buy into an HOA community, you're expected to follow a set of rules, right? They're outlined in the community's covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or CC&Rs for short. These rules, they're designed to preserve the community's aesthetics, safety, and just overall value. So typically these rules encompass a wide range of things. For example, they may dictate the types of colors of your external paint, what kind of siding can you use or cannot use, landscaping, lawn decorations, what you can or cannot have, or even where you can park your car, right? There's noise levels that could be restricted during certain hours. There may be certain regulations concerning pet ownership, the size of your dog, how many dogs. And if you want to make certain changes to your property, you'll likely need, you probably need an approval from the HOA's or Architectural Review Board. And I want to remind you that these rules can vary from one HOA community to another. You can probably see as you're looking at homes, some HOAs might be quite lax, while others they're going to be very restrictive. So before you buy into an HOA community, it's really important that you just review and understand the CC&Rs thoroughly, so that you're at least comfortable with them and that you're not surprised. So with all the information that I threw at you, I just want to do a quick recap and tie it all together for you. So here are some pros and cons of living in an HOA community. So you can just weigh these factors and just decide if if this is going to be the right fit for you. Let's start with the pros of an HOA. One is going to be maintenance and amenities. HOAs often take care of common areas and provide amenities like pools and clubhouses and fitness centers. This is just going to help enhance your living experience and just potentially save you money on other things like gym memberships, for example, and that sort of thing. 2 is going to be maintaining of community standards. HOAs help to maintain a certain aesthetic in a community, and this can prevent issues like overgrown yards or paint peeling, just ensuring that the neighborhood remains visually appealing. And this is going to maintain property values, right? 3rd, we talked about potential dispute resolution. So if you have a dispute with a neighbor, your HOA can often act as a mediator, helping to resolve issues in a fair manner. And then overall, its job is to help maintain property values by maintaining high standards for properties and their surroundings. HOAs can help to uphold or even increase the value of homes in the community over time. Now, on the flip side, there are cons to HOAs. First and foremost, you got HOA fees. These fees can be substantial, right? And they're an added expense on top of your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, CDDs. And if for some reason the HOA budget is not managed well, you could face unexpected assessments for large projects. And no homeowner likes to be hit with an extra bill. The second means you just have less autonomy. Living in an HOA means you'll need to follow the association's rules. And sometimes it can be restrictive. This is going to limit your ability to personalize your home or use your property as you wish. Third, there's going to be potential for conflict. Like any community, an HOA can have conflicts, whether it's over HOA decisions or rules or the way they enforce it. Personality clashes, and you may see it, especially if there is like a Facebook group or of some sort. So another downside is the risk of special assessments. If a major expense pops up that wasn't budgeted for or initially, the HOA may issue a special assessment, which can be a significant expected cost. Just remember that each HOA is unique, and the pros and cons are going to vary based on specific conditions and circumstances. So it's really important that you understand all aspects of an HOA before you decide to buy into one. Understanding your HOA, it's the HOA rules, your responsibilities as a homeowner can help ensure that there's a positive living experience in that community. Now, if you're in doubt on anything within the documents that you see, make sure that you seek legal advice. So thanks so much for tuning in today, and don't forget to subscribe for more homeowner insights, and please leave a comment below on what you thought of today's topic. Until next time, I hope to see you soon. Take care.